have normal courses that you can buy that are asynchronous, that you can just take your own course by itself, but this specific one, there's a human element added to the asynchronous slides that we've got. We rent a hotel and a conference room. MRI safety is a lot about implants. When people come to one of our ImagingU safety courses, we have a panel of experts and we give out scenarios of different patients with different implants, stuff like that, to where the people that are coming on site, they've already been through the modules, so they're not, again, super intimidated by the subject matter. All we're doing at that point is fine-tuning their knowledge, and we readdress those different concepts in a personal way, different presentations. At the end of the day, we do like an MRI safety pub trivia. Like we could say gadolinium in pregnancy is a big deal. So we might talk about how many free electrons that gadolinium has in it, but also talk about who graced the cover of Vanity Fair in 1989, and we all know that's Demi Moore. I mean, if we talk about heavy metal, we could talk about gadolinium, or we could talk about Slayer. It's really fun. And then the next morning, they actually come in with those scenarios as a group. They present them to our panel of experts and tell us why they would scan or why they wouldn't scan. And so these people go back home and they've already had practice clearing 30 implants, and so they just go home and they just destroy. When we get together, our first big goal is to break down the barriers and to make these people our friends and make the weekend a really fun weekend. It's like MRI sleepaway camp.
Temperature is what matters. This stuff doesn't matter.
So John Kirsch is like the head of physics at MIT. He oversees human imaging at Martino Center, which has the most MRI patents in the world. So John is thought to be the single most knowledgeable person alive in MRI. Normally, to be able to have access to John, you would either have to be a postdoctorate fellow at MIT studying biomedical engineering or physics, or you would need to be a resident at Harvard Medical School. He believes in our vision, he believes in like what we're doing and why we're making this and how we're making this more accessible, so he makes time to do this with us 3 times a year. John Kirsch is my Taylor Swift. I'm a Kirschie, I say. I've heard someone say at one point, when John dies, MRI as a whole will step back 10, 15 years in terms of knowledge. John will never tell you these things about him, so it's up to me to tell everyone what John actually does. One problem of regular MRI courses is they're not done by technologists. They're done by a supervising physician, or they're done by someone who has a high theoretical knowledge of what we're talking about, but not a clinical side. So John brings a little bit of that on that side, and I bring a lot of that on the clinical side. We also bring in Tabby Miller from Ohio, and she's the MRSO for one of the larger organizations there, probably clears 150 implants a month, and she's amazing at it. So it takes a village to do these things correctly and to have the different amounts of perspective. So it's not just about, here's a bunch of PowerPoints, it's how do you actually apply this in the clinical setting? If you go to ImagingU.com and you click on either conferences or just ImagingU.com/conferences, then you can be able to see any one of our courses, including that one that has a human component to it, outside of the LMS that contains all of the didactic information. I am sometimes that patient. I'm getting older, which I'm only 26, but as I'm getting older, I need to have confidence that what we've done has enabled people to take much better care of their patients. I have a better chance of someone scanning me that we've taught the right way.